I am making this video just as evidence for this for the managing director of the accommodation that I live in. I've had several crimes committed against me here, which, well, they include anonymous harassing phone calls, an obscene phone call, and this has been going on for months at all hours of the day. I live streamed a video of me receiving an obscene phone call at I think it was around midnight back in November here in the property where I live, and this I'll put a link in the description, a link below. The link is to the video titled "Stop Harassing Me, Dan." This is Dan from Police Abusing Power's YouTube channel. Evidence of obscene harassment / stalking captured. And this was, I reported all of this to the police, and I've got evidence on my laptop of 101 police call handlers illegally terminating my calls consistently, which they did when my life was in danger at Belmore Road when I was living with convicted criminals. And my friend Juliet, who's a support worker and going through cancer treatment, was attacked in the street by random drunks trying to help me. And both hers and my email to the local government and social care ombudsman were ignored. And that's hence why I added to the 99% of bad reviews on Trustpilot, because they're part of the corruption. As I said, Juliet is a support worker for Southdown Housing Association, like my middle sister, and she has also seen the videos, which I will also link in the description so that you can see them, of a member of staff here abusing me. And as I said, Juliet is a support worker by profession. She's going through cancer treatment. She's the only person supporting me, and she said that is not even basic support, that's thuggish bullying. And as I said, I was here 7 years ago when there was a Facebook page and petition saying stop bullying the vulnerable people. I was here 7 years ago, and I'm being bullied by the same staff that work here. It might have a different organisation name, but it states on the website very clearly that they have 24/7 staff trained to deal with mental health and complex needs. And I have recorded to my laptop, to this laptop, 101 call handlers illegally terminating my calls when my life was in danger at Belmore Road. And this is the police. Sergeant Simmons told me to purchase a dictaphone, this here dictaphone, and then I was arrested for doing what the sergeant told me to do. The number of times I could have sued the police. I've got so much evidence of me being attacked. And as I said, Juliet was attacked in the street trying to help me. Her friend is an occupational therapist who lives at the Riverbourne House. I recorded residents of the Riverbourne House helping me. This is Homes First under Eastbourne Borough Council. And her friend, who's an occupational therapist who supported me, who lives at the Riverbourne House, has got Parkinson's. So these vulnerable people I recorded helping me when Sherelle Clark, mother and daughter, who are mentioned in the online news, I can forward you a link to that, mentioned on the BBC online news, Hampshire Constabulary, and Kent and Sussex police, twice arrested and imprisoned for mugging the elderly, and I recorded her drunkenly assaulting me in front of CCTV I fought to get installed. And I've been trafficked from that place back here, and that was a place that Sussex Partnership, the hospital, placed me in. I do not drink, I do not take drugs, I do not even smoke. I'm vulnerable, I'm bereaved again. 6 days before my mother died, I was forced to sign a homeless application form in supported accommodation down the road from here. And I've got evidence that I was in supported accommodation because it's on the death certificate I signed at Eastbourne Town Hall. So, without further ado, I will play you because a phone call tonight I've had on the 12th of March 2023 at around there's about, what time was it that I received this call? 46 anonymous calls to date from since I don't know when, but this was at 7:24 on the 12th of March 2023 that I'm about to play you a recording of an anonymous call handler leaving a voice message where they're screaming down the phone at me, and then I'll put a link to the obscene phone call in the description so that you, the director, can see this. Now, as this is on YouTube, this is going to be on my YouTube channel. I won't put the address where I live. I won't say who you are. I won't say the company name or anything like that. But as I said, I've got recordings of police 101 call handlers terminating my calls when my life was in danger at Belmore Road. Moments before my partner assaulted me, and DC Kamar of Eastbourne CID. I've got recordings of him failing me, as well as the care coordinator and the GP who I've reported to the GMC for failing me, and they're the people who put me in this place. So please be mindful of the fact that my friend is going through cancer treatment. She's got to do her own medication and injections, and I don't really want to be putting on her. But I've had many crimes committed against me, my human rights and my civil liberties, and my overall sovereignty. So this was, oh yeah, so I forgot to say, so not only did I have my 101 police calls terminated when my life was in danger at Belmore Road and when my partner assaulted me, but I've also recorded call handlers terminating my calls here in this property. And I have one time I was on the phone for 4 hours to a PC Mark Hunt badge number 5134 of Thames Valley Police because said person has been targeting other people as well, and I won't go into that. But many recordings, and the police 101 call handlers have gone against their own written apology to me from the Professional Standards Department, apologising for doing this. And before I play you the phone call, I would just like to tell you what it says on the Metropolitan Police website about harassing and annoying phone calls. If I just read this out. Right, this is on the Metropolitan Police website. Indecent, threatening, or offensive phone calls. Right. Nuisance phone calls can involve the caller remaining silent or deliberately calling when they know you're likely to be asleep. It's rare for this kind of call to happen again and again, which it has consistently. Over 40 phone calls in the last, I don't know how long. But if it does, you can take steps to prevent it. See below. Malicious calls are deliberately targeted at an individual and can involve threats and blackmail, which I've had. I've had to delete some of the text messages because I don't have the space. Making a malicious or obscene call is a criminal offence. There you go. Making a malicious or obscene call is a criminal offence. And I'm going to attach the video of below so that you can see it in the description. And I have learned, where does it say? Somewhere it says that, I can't find where, but I know that the police are able to track they are able to track the Metropolitan Police are able to trace anonymous calls. I know they have a surveillance system where they're able to they've got special equipment where they can do that. The police can obtain a warrant to request your call records from your mobile phone service provider. But anyway, I'm going to play this phone call. I'm just going to get on with it and play you this. This is what I've had this evening.
No new messages. And 6. Saved messages. Saved messages. This message was left at 7:24 p.m. on Sunday, the 12th of March, 2023. To replay the message, key 1. Saved message has been saved.
So there we go. And I'm now, so that's the anonymous call. This is what I had to put up with. I'm just going to, even though this is not at the current property, I want you to know this is just one example of the many licensees who attacked me to the point where I thought I would be killed. I had my bedroom window smashed. I was assaulted. Several times it happened when I was in the bath and I was terrified for my life. I want you to play this, director.
Because I'll swear that I'll come up there and I'll wet you senseless. Dirty little bitch. I'll wet your Dory. Mind you, I'm not fucking joking. I'm fucking joking with you. I've had enough of this. I've had enough of this. Please.
Right, this recording was at 3 o'clock in the morning, 3:11 in the morning on the 29th of April 2021. This was a dangerous, vile, degenerate, raging alcoholic on a criminal tag. And I even recorded the company who put her on a tag, and they couldn't believe what I was telling them when I told them what was happening in my shared council accommodation. I was terrified for my life. That's, you can hear I'm about to make a police, well, phone call. I won't play the whole thing, but she goes on to kick the bathroom door, and the call handler heard it. 3 hours later, I was arrested at 6 a.m. Um, and I said, "Oh, thank goodness you're here." PC Scott Franklin Lester Senior, who patrols the town. He was meant to be the investigating officer for the ongoing offences. Bearing in mind, a Sergeant Simmons told me to purchase a dictaphone, and then they arrested me for doing it. And then I could have sued the Herald for slander as well. I was arrested 3 hours later, terrified, on a fraud, in my pyjamas, slippers, and dressing gown, taken to Brighton Magistrates Court and released onto the street, terrified, as a woman on severe disability, in my pyjamas, dressing gown, and slippers. And this was a place where I've recorded the Riverbourne House neighbours of Homes First. And my friend, as I said, my friend, who's a support worker by profession, her friend supported me, who's got Parkinson's, and she lives in that building where I recorded the residents supporting me when a vile woman and mother and daughter were mugging the elderly, and mentioned for a second time online as having mugged the elderly, and I recorded her drunkenly assaulting me, and the police were targeting me. I played this, the recording I've just played, to the manageress, Lisa, here. And whilst I've been living here for just 4 months, and the GP and the care coordinator, who I've reported to the GMC for failing me, I've been here for 4 months, and I have been reporting these anonymous harassing calls. So I've been reporting crimes to people that your website states you have 24/7 trained mental health professionals who can deal with complex needs, and they're not even taking these crimes seriously. And I will put a link to the description of the Metropolitan Police website. So I really don't know how I'm finding the strength to keep going. I will also put a link to the night porter, and not that it really is going to make much difference, but I'll show you. I don't have a smartphone, but the bruises that were caused to me by Eastbourne Police, by PC McCarthy, would you believe, on Beachy Head on the 3rd of February, the day I received the email from the law firm saying about my father's estate, and that he's been dead since December 2021. And this then had caused a reaction in me, suicide ideation, which is ongoing. And these were the bruises that were caused by the police. You can't really see from here. That's my shoes. Bruising all over my body. Can't really see. One of the worst bruises was down the side of my back, though. As you can see there, you can't really quite see in this light. But on the 3rd of February, when this happened, I wasn't hanging off the cliffs. I was in distress. I stripped my top half because of what the police had done to me the time before. They tried to put me in prison over a welfare check on Beachy Head, where I was dragged out of. They were trying to disappear me. So I've never had help and support with my mental health or my bereavement, the loss of my soulmate mother. And that day, these are my arms, which were so swollen that night and bruised that I was in physical pain, and I rang Juliet, my friend, who should be recovering from her cancer. I'm having to stay very, very calm about all of this. I'm having to stay really, really calm. But no, none of the staff here said, I'm sorry to hear about your father's death. Should we look into it? Even the crisis team criticised me for bringing Juliet down there with me because I've been bullied in A&E, threatened that if I leave, they'll get the police to bring me back. And at the same time, I've been bullied away by security guards, and I was assaulted by a security guard to the point where I was given a bloody nose by trying to protect my partner. This has all been orchestrated, and I've got a damning ward review recording. I won't go into all of that, but Sussex Partnership have been part of the problem, part of the trauma, not the cure. But anyway, I will just leave it at that for now because that's all I have the energy to show you. But yeah, evidence of crimes committed against me. Have a look in the link in the description. And that the obscene phone call, because you can clearly see I'm in my pajamas. I'm in here, and it's back in November. So there we go. And I shall put a link to the. I will try to put a link to the Metropolitan Police website on harassing anonymous calls being criminal offences. I'll try and put a link to the night porter, which I showed to Juliet, because she's disgusted by this. And that's just about it, really. Yes. That's it. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. So, also I put the rest of the information in the email because I've had a second letter from the that's the first letter I received. The second letter was when the deputy manageress Tanya came in here, bullying me, saying you no longer live here, and she didn't want to hear what Juliet had to say. So you're trying to make a vulnerable woman on severe disability homeless just because she came out to have a go at the police for beating me. And none of this, well, as Juliet said, agreed with me, the night porter should join the police. The other night porter and other staff bullied me when I was here 7 years ago, threatened with forcible removal. And all I did was admit that I had recorded Jim on the desk saying he remembered me when I was here 7 years ago. Um, but I've had to, and they want to get rid of me because of this, because I've complained. I needed this as part of my legal action against the council, and I admitted it to him. So he screamed and shouted at me that I'd seen a mental health nurse. It's just demented, it really is. Anyway, there we are. Anyway, that's all I have to say. This is just for the purposes of recorded evidence, which I am playing for you, the managing director.